So for this experiment, you're going to need a slice of whole grain bread, a slice of white bread, some clear plastic cups or bowls, and then also some vinegar. If you want, you can also save on money by diluting your vinegar with 50% water, and then the other 50% can be vinegar. What I like to do also to save on cost is go ahead and cut my bread into some smaller pieces. This way I can use the smaller glasses, and I can also have one piece of bread give me 6 to 8 pieces, so I can use that for different groups of students instead of having to use multiple pieces of bread. And then let's go ahead and do the same with our white bread here. So remember, when you're picking out your bread, to read the nutrition label and make sure for your whole grain bread that the first thing listed on the label is whole wheat flour or whole grain flour, something like that. And then for your white bread, you can choose any sort of bread that does not have whole grain or whole wheat flour listed as the first ingredient. Then we're going to take some of our vinegar here. I'm going to fill my clear bowls up. And the reason I like to use the clear bowls is that then you can see what's happening here. So this is acidic, and it mimics the acidic environment of our stomachs. So then we're going to go ahead and digest our whole wheat bread and our white bread. So we'll go ahead and put them into the vinegar, and then you could give the kids plastic spoons. They could also just kind of poke the bread, but what you want to do is agitate these pieces of bread evenly. Obviously it's a science experiment, so if I over agitate one and not the other, then you'll start to see that they don't mimic it exactly. So I don't know if you can see on the video, but the white bread is really starting to disintegrate very fast. It's pretty soggy. The vinegar itself is getting relatively cloudy, versus my whole wheat bread is still maintaining a lot of its integrity, and the vinegar isn't quite as cloudy. So I'll continue to agitate these, and what the students will see is the white bread is digesting faster. So what happens is when we eat refined grains, they enter our body, they give you this quick spike of energy because they digest so quickly, and then that energy's gone. The bread's digested, it's out of your system. Versus our whole wheat bread, it takes longer to digest, so it's going to give you a nice slower release of energy, which is what we mean when we say it's keeping you fuller longer. A great tie-in for this is sports. So for the students that are athletes or that are just active, think about if you're about to go into a big race or a basketball game, do you want a spurt of energy just at the beginning, or do you want some long sustained energy over time? Obviously you'd want that longer sustained energy over time. Also, if they're going to be making a breakfast, let's say, or choosing something for breakfast, which one do you think might keep us full until lunch? Probably the whole grain, since it's going to take our bodies longer to digest it. So if I agitated them a little bit more, I can barely pull the white bread out of the water, versus the whole wheat bread, it's still pretty structurally sound. So that is the whole grains experiment, and a great visual for your students.